Good evening, fellow investors and traders. This is day 23 of Trading on the Record with your host Kyle Nero here. First things first, today in the markets anything can happen. I don't need to know what's going to happen to make money. There's a random distribution between wins and losses for any given set of variables that defines an edge. An edge in the markets is nothing more than a higher probability of one thing happening over another, and every moment in the market today is unique. Today I'll be successful in the markets because I'll objectively identify my edges. I'll predefine the risk of every trade. I'll fully accept that risk or I'm willing to let go of that trade. I will act on my edges without hesitation or reservation. I'll pay myself as the markets makes money available to me. I'll continuously monitor my susceptibility for making errors, and I understand the absolute necessity of these principles of continued success, and therefore I never violate them. I trade my system, I stay the F out of the way, and I repeat. Welcome once again to this lovely Wednesday evening. Hope you had a good one and your week is going good so far. And welcome. Yes, so our overview over here, or as the thumbnail would read, I think I'm going to change it next week because it's not reading clearly when I look at it. It needs to read clearly, and I think it's the bar chart that is maybe throwing it out. So I'll maybe put that on the second page as we run through the video. But yeah, I just want it to be as clear as possible so that you can understand and track easier. And looking at our opening balance, we started this account at 106,233. We opened it on the 24th of October, and our current balance is at 108,484 today on the 23rd of November. And our equity is the same. Our max drawdown, just remembering that we only risk 10% of the capital, whatever we put down, 50,000, 100,000, half a mil, 1 mil, we only go as far as 10%. So further than that, we call it quits. We cut the count, we take our 10% loss, we eat it up, soak it up, and so life goes on until we take the next opportunity. Not saying that it cannot happen, but I've got a proven edge that puts things in my favor, that flips the count on the positive side. But the 10% overall risk is there for a reason, because it can happen. Market conditions can change any day, and yeah, it's just something to bear in mind. Total net profit, we're sitting at 2251 with a return of 2.11%, which is absolutely great, and good so far. We are only on day 23, and there's quite a bit of more days to go. And just remembering, we exclude the weekends from these trades. We trade cryptocurrencies as separate. And yeah, so let's head over to Forex Factory. So yeah, Forex Factory, of course, as always, this is our trusty calendar that we use for all our main news events, to see if there's anything that withholds us. This is part of our algorithm, part of our system, part of our trading strategy to avoid news events that can cause our trades to go sour because of the unpredictability thereof. There's no ways I'm risking something that I've got absolutely no control over. And basically just stay out. If there's people that is successful trading that way, by all means go ahead and do that. But please, I welcome you to put your proof on the record, just as I am. Not to be in competition with you, but just for you to see that there is a different way, and you got to be wary of that. But by all means, if your system and your trades is successful, and you can show a consistent return over not a week or day period, over a month period, at least give me 3 months, then I'll definitely look at your trading strategy, and I probably still won't change, but I'll definitely give it some serious consideration. But with all my experience and history and everything, I've gone through all the formats, and this is why I am where I am today, because those formats did not work, and it continues not to work, and there's nobody that can put it on the record to show you that it actually works. So if it does, okay, babbling on. Let's move on. So today we had RBN, the Reserve Bank of New Zealand published its monthly interest rate, and we of course would have stayed out of the markets because of that. There was no other news events that would have affected us. Leading over to tomorrow to see if there's anything that might hold us back, and over here there is nothing happening, so we are good to trade whatever options or opportunities comes our way. There is though the United States bank holiday, so it's a public holiday happening over there, and let's dive deeper to see what it is. It is Thanksgiving Day, so Thanksgiving happening in the USA tomorrow. So yeah, I expect markets to be a bit subdued. That's usually what happens when the States is on a bit of a break. But we still trade as normal. We still take precaution. We still risk as normal. Nothing changes. It's just something to note that sometimes markets does tend to go a bit slower, because that's where most of the activity comes from. So nothing holding us back there, and let's head over to the markets then and see what is happening. So like I said before, our balance is still at 108,484, as well as our equity. Checking quickly into our history, our last trade was at the 3rd of November that we closed. That was a Swiss franc JPY, and going up the list here, was of course the history. I always go through this so that it is on record, it's on YouTube, it's on the video library. Libraries do exist, but it doesn't exist like it did in the past anymore. And YouTube is just one of those libraries that's going to be created for data to be stored there forever, and I'm glad that I have the opportunity to store my data there. I'm glad that I have the opportunity to put my trades on the record and put it as public record so that everybody can see, because it helps. It gives me or builds trust, and it's definitely a viewpoint for somebody to look at for the vast amount of crap that is happening out there where advertisement for Forex is concerned, and all types of markets trading. It's just absolute chaos at the moment. Definitely some extreme regulation needed there, but nonetheless, even though I might be affected by it, rather that way than people getting ripped off continuously. So that was the history is concerned. We're going to dive through the markets and see. I've already dived through it. I've said a couple of weeks ago, I don't want to waste your time by how can I say, first going through these things while we are shooting, because it does take some time, and I'll just bring it straight to you. So, but I will of course show it to you as we are taking the trade or recording the trade and doing it live. But for tonight, there's nothing. The Dow sitting still there, a bit of movement out on NAS, but the rest of the indices out in the Eurozone quite slow, down under also. Gold got a bit of movement, as well as silver. And oil is definitely on the move here. Something happened there. And then of course in Bitcoin, not in Bitcoin but in the crypto market, some of these things has moved insanely for today. Really some wicked movements that is happening. And this is definitely some crazy activity that is coming away. And we look forward to see some volume coming to the markets, because volume meets trade. It's just like out in the real world. If you don't have feed coming to your business, you don't make money, and it is no different here. So I'm just gonna head through these guys quickly. Like I said before, I've already been through all of this, and there was no trades that existed for me to take. So I'm nonetheless just scrolling through here so that you can have some kind of visual. So I really want to get to the NZD to show you what happened there. So it was some activity, very small, not major. But out on NZD-CAD, definitely the interest rate that came through early hours of this morning made a major effect. So let's just look at this. So this is the end of the day, it's the top of the candle here, if you're new to this. Let's head over to H4 and see when that happened. So the news event came around 3 a.m. this morning, and look at that. Now the 0 a.m. is for the 3 a.m. candle, but as soon as that thing got released, wowza, that thing just goes. So you don't have the foresight to know what side it's going to. Of course, that's why we play stop losses and etc. But nonetheless, it's just too risky, and it could end up taking out more than what your stop loss was. Sometimes these things in volatile markets go so crazy that it just eats past your stop loss, doesn't activate it, and guess what? You are in some deep trouble. So yeah, definitely contributing reason why we do not trade fundamental analysis, why we do not trade news events. That is what fundamental analysis is. And so coming down and ending up with USD ZAR over here. Let me just take off this calendar. I don't know why it's always coming up. Give me one moment. Delete all events. So some craziness coming out here on the US dollar and South African rand also. So this thing has been way up yet 18 rand 43, and now at least it's coming down as 16 rand 96, and it definitely affects us in a major way. So there's so much things that we purchase that comes via the States, and I've got some programs also that I run, and if it's by that time of month that my program needs to pay the monthly fee, or I need to do an add-on purchase on the program, guess what? There I'm paying now close to 18 rand 50 cents, where now it's down to 17 rand. So it affects us in ways that you just cannot believe. And this is why this market moves so much, and why so much people takes note of it. That's why it's a 7 trillion market, because people's money is moving around constantly, and you got to make sure that you're buying at the right time, selling at the right time. Just like I need to make sure that if my prices is way too hectic, and all of a sudden an additional purchase that I needed to do on my app, the normal cost was 200 rand, but because the price moved up, it's now sitting at 235 or 240. It's 40 bucks down the drain and that goes a long way. So definitely something to be mindful for in the real world, but as well as in the markets, and that's why we trade them, that's why we make the money, and that's why we're signing out. Have a good one. Check you tomorrow evening. Bye bye.